After 12 years of waiting for a child, Ngozi finally got pregnant. But before she could tell her husband, she found another woman carrying his baby. And in that moment, she didn't cry. She didn't scream. She made one quiet decision. That would destroy everything he thought he had built. Ngozi and Emeka had been married for 12 years. 12 long years. Years that felt longer than they should. Years filled with silence. Not the peaceful kind of silence, but the heavy kind. The kind that sits in a home and refuses to leave. Their house was beautiful, spacious, well furnished. But something was missing. Something that could not be bought. Something that could not be hidden. A child. 12 years of marriage. And no child. At first, people were patient. They are still newly married, they said. Give them time. But time passed. And patience slowly turned into whispers. Then whispers turned into questions. Then questions became accusations. And most of them were directed at one person. Ngozi. Every family gathering became a test. Every visit from relatives became painful. And her mother-in-law never failed to remind her, "My son needs a child," she would say coldly. "He must pray harder. He must try harder." Sometimes she brought bottles of prayer water. Sometimes bitter herbs. Sometimes strange instructions from prophets. Drink this before sunrise. Bath with this at midnight. Ngozi did everything. Everything. Because she wanted peace. Because she wanted a child. Because she wanted to feel complete. At night, when the house was quiet, she cried silently, so Emeka would not hear. So no one would know. Because in that house, she carried the shame alone. She went to hospitals countless times. She did the tests, painful tests, embarrassing tests, hopeful tests. But every time, the result came back the same. Nothing. And Emeka, he always said the same thing. "It is well, my wife. It will happen." He spoke calmly, reassuringly. But something had changed. Slowly, quietly, he was no longer present. Even when he sat beside her, his attention was elsewhere. His eyes were always on his phone, typing, smiling, sometimes even laughing softly. Ngozi noticed, but she said nothing, because she was tired. Too tired to fight. Too tired to fight. Too tired to lose the little peace she had left. So she endured, day after day, year after year, until one Monday morning, everything changed. Ngozi woke up early. The sun had barely risen. The house was still quiet. She sat at the edge of the bed, holding something small in her hands. A pregnancy test. Her hands trembled slightly. Her heart beat faster than usual. She had done this before. Many times. Too many times. Each time hoping. Each time disappointed. But something felt different. This time, she felt it. She took a deep breath, closed her eyes for a moment, and looked. 2 red lines. Clear. Bright. Unmistakable. Ngozi froze. Her mind went blank. Her body went still. Then slowly, tears filled her eyes. But these were not tears of pain. These were tears of joy. 12 years of waiting. 12 years of prayers. 12 years of shame. Finally, a miracle. She covered her mouth as a soft cry escaped. Then she laughed. A small, trembling laugh. She held her stomach gently, as if she could already feel the life growing inside her. "My child," she whispered. At that moment, she decided something. She would not tell Emeka immediately. This news was too special, too important. She wanted to make it perfect. She wanted to give him a surprise he would never forget. So she planned. That same day, a grand dinner, his favorite meals, music, and at the right moment, she would reveal it. But she wanted to do something more, something symbolic. She stopped at a small store and bought a tiny baby shoe. Soft, white, delicate. She held it carefully, smiling. This would be the moment. This would change everything. Also, she thought. Later that morning, she decided to go to his office. Earlier than usual, just to set the mood, to maybe drop a hint, to start the day with joy. She dressed nicely, simple, elegant, happy. For the first time in years, she felt light, alive, hopeful as she approached his office building. Her heart raced with excitement. She imagined his reaction, his smile, his shock, his happiness. She reached his door, held the small baby shoe tightly in her purse, and gently pushed the door open, slowly, quietly, with a soft smile on her face. But what she saw next stopped everything. The smile vanished instantly. Her heart dropped. The world around her froze, because inside that office sat Emeka, her husband, and on his lap was his young secretary, a beautiful young woman, laughing softly, her arms wrapped around him, and her stomach was round, very round, 6 months pregnant. Ngozi stood there, silent, unmoving, hidden by the slightly open door. And then she heard his voice, soft, gentle, the same voice he used to comfort her. "Don't worry," Emeka whispered. "Once I divorce her, this child will have everything." The words cut deep, like a knife, slow, precise, painful. Ngozi did not move. She did not breathe. She simply stood there, listening, watching, understanding. In that moment, everything became clear. The late nights, the phone, the distance, the lies. It all made sense. Her hands tightened around her purse. The baby shoe inside felt heavier now, almost meaningless. Her eyes filled with tears. But they did not fall. Not yet. Not here. Not for them to see. Slowly, quietly, Ngozi stepped back, closed the door without a sound, and walked away. No scream, no confrontation, no drama, just silence. Cold, controlled silence. She walked out of the building, her face calm, but inside, a storm was raging. Pain, betrayal, anger, but something else too, clarity. For the first time in years, Ngozi was not confused. She was not weak. She was not waiting. She was done. She got into a taxi and gave one instruction: the bank. Minutes later, she walked into the bank. straight to the counter, her voice steady. I want to withdraw everything from our joint account. The cashier looked surprised. It is a large amount, ma. Ngozi nodded. I know. The process began. Forms signed. Numbers entered. Accounts cleared. Everything. Every kobo. 12 years of shared life. Now, separated. Final. When she stepped out of the bank, she held her bag tightly, not just with money, but with something more important: control, power, freedom. Back at home, she sat quietly, placed the baby shoe on the table, and looked at it. This child, her child, would not grow in pain, would not grow in betrayal, would not grow in a house filled with lies. She wiped a tear from her cheek. This time, she allowed herself to cry, but only for a moment, because she had made her decision. If Emeka wanted a new life, he would have it, but not the one he planned. He would start from zero. And this time, without her. Moral of the story is that sometimes the greatest betrayal does not come from strangers. It comes from the person you trusted the most. But karma has a way of balancing every story. And when it does not knock. It enters quietly. If you enjoyed this story, subscribe and click the notification bell so you don't miss the next one.